There we go. So when you come to the site, a couple things we added in. Also, we added in the favicon of just the D of devotion. So that's up there. Looks a lot better than was the full logo. But
Yeah, that's cool.
to get logged in, it's just devutionsweddingchapel.com/WP-admin. So we don't need to go to WordPress.com or anything like that. It's all going to go through this site directly.
Okay.
And I'll
That's what
email
I
you.
didn't write down.
Yep. And I'll email you this link as well. So you have this for future reference then.
Okay.
So once you get there, you have the right username. Yours is Kendra, and your email address and everything. Once you get logged in, we'll come to this screen. We get logged in. This would be the main dashboard. Not a ton we do necessarily on this page. We'll take a look at some of the stuff over here on the left-hand side again. Posts is the blog articles that we have. Media is just one common connecting point of all the different media files that we've had uploaded. So whether that's videos, YouTube, or videos, photos, GIF images, PDFs, Word docs, whatever that is, just one spot where they're all going to be hanging out. If you have a bunch of images to upload, it might be easier to go through here to get them uploaded. Pages is going to be a list of all the different pages we have. We can get into view them, edit them. Comments we won't need to worry about. Formidable is the contact form. So if we need to make updates there, we'd go through there. Shouldn't really need to make a ton of updates to that. Usually for a lot of our clients, if there is an update to it, they usually have us step in and do that then.
Okay.
Elementor and templates, again, really shouldn't need to do much with that. Appearance, the only thing we might need to play with in here is this option for menus. That's going to control the main navigation at the top and the one in the footer. We can go through all that a little bit here too. Plugins is just if you want to add a new plugin, a new feature to it. Again, most of the time clients have us do that sort of thing for them. Users will come back to right away in a moment. That's where all the different login accounts will be. Tools, setting, Yoast, and WP security. Don't need to do anything in those guys. But here in users, if we log into this section right now, there's one for Anna. She's one of our designers. There's one for me, and there's one for you. You can create as many of these as you want. So when you go to log in, again, since you don't know your password, you can just click on the forgot password link, and it'll email a new one to your Gmail account. Same thing if you set an account up for Wendy, just keep it with whatever that big, long, random collection of characters is, and then she can just click the forgot password and it'll email her one then. Which keeps everything a bit more secure that way. So, hang on. Oh, there we go. So in here again, posts, if we look here, I think right now we have 3 blog articles that were either on the old site or written up for this one. More of these we publish, the better off it is. The goal of the blog articles is to somehow share some bit of knowledge, wisdom, and idea with people that can make their wedding just a little bit better. So anything that can work into it of better ways to buy a wedding dress, best things to look for when you're looking for a caterer, best types of beer to have at a Green Bay wedding, anything like that. That will all be extremely helpful.
Okay.
I'll show you the media library quick as well. Again, huge collection of all the photos, logo, favicon, everything we've had that got uploaded, 132 images so far. If we need to add more, we can click on the add new. From here, you can select the file. So it's just going to navigate to wherever on your desktop you might have those folders, and then just click and upload them. Likewise, if let's say for whatever reason we don't ever want this photo to get used again, for whatever reason that might be, we can click the delete permanently and it will be gone forever.
Okay. I actually do have one of those that's on there.
Okay, which one is that?
It was the original one with the cup on the home page, but there was the one where it had the gray sky, and it is somewhere else in the, oh yeah, it's second from the bottom row, 4th one in.
We don't ever want anybody to ever see that again. correct?
No, and if we do, I have a copy, so I can always re-upload it, but the cloudy sky had to go, so
So if we click OK right now, nobody will ever see this photo again.
okay.
And
And then it'll remove it from the gallery then too, I'm assuming.
it should be pulled from everything. Yep.
Yep, cool.
So, um, so that's that one. The pages is the main one. That's our main focus, obviously. When we come in here, when you look at things once you get logged in, they might look a little bit different. So when I'm in here, when I hover over a page, I see these links underneath for edit, quick edit, trash, view, clone, new draft, rewrite and republish, and edit with Elementor. If you don't see those, there's this option over here on the right for screen options. Just play around with what the settings are over here,
Okay,
and then I'll be good to go. Yours might be set to only show 10 pages or 20 pages. Just set that to 999. That's the max. You'll see a bunch of them then.
okay,
Obviously, when you hover over these, if you hit the trash button, it's going to delete the page. It's then going to go into the trash section right here. It'll stay there for like 30 days and then it'll be gone forever. When we hover over it, if you do edit, that's just going to open it in the basic WordPress editor. We do not want that. What
okay,
we want is the edit with Elementor, the one on the far side. That's going to open it up into a million times better editor that is much more visual, user-friendly, far more enjoyable editor to work with. What I typically do when I'm going in to edit a page, I'll come into the list of pages here, and I will control, or I'll right click on view and choose open in new tab. And then I'll come to edit with Elementor, right click on that and edit, open link in new tab. I always like to have a couple of tabs open. I always keep the far left one just somehow logged into the admin section, whether it's the dashboard, the list of pages, whatever it is. Just gives me one anchor point that if I kind of get lost in the tabs, I at least have one place to go back to.
mm-hmm.
Then here is my site. It's the live one that we're working on. It's this page. And then the third tab is our Elementor editor. With Elementor, it is a fantastic editor. I absolutely love it. It's not the fastest editor to load on the back end in the world. It can sometimes take a moment. So nothing's wrong with the site. The site goes super fast. It's the editor in the back end when you're going to do stuff that can sometimes take a moment.
Mm-hmm.
That said, if it takes an hour, it's taking too long, let me know.
Okay.
When you're logged into the site as an admin, you'll see this black bar up here. Nobody else other than you, me, Anna, Wendy, if she has an account, when we're logged into the site, will see that.
Okay.
With that black bar there, keep in mind, it can throw off some of the other display things a little bit. I don't think any of those are on this site, but occasionally things, particularly things like this masonry view, can get a little goofed up. Some of the text might overlay, or some of the images might overlay the text above it, or vice versa. Just goofy little things when you are logged in because of, again, this 1020 pixel bar at the top. It can be a little bit of a goofy thing sometimes. So just be aware of that. But once we get into Elementor, again, this is where it gets super easy, and it's a matter of preview on the right and edit on the left. So it's a matter of, again, click and edit. So if we want to update this line of text that says best wedding venue Green Bay, we click here, and on the right hand side is the content to edit. So if we expand content, here's our title. It's a heading 1. We can make this say whatever we want it to say. Don't make it too terribly long, especially for the heading 1. We like to keep those relatively in that 4, 5, 6 word count area. But then below it down here is this one. So if we want to change a word from care to whatever, I can't think of a word, we can type in whatever, and as soon as we hit the update button, that will be live for the world to see then. We don't really want that to go live though. But very easy to come in and just add in any of that different content we want in here. The link down here, plan your wedding today. Again, we can update with this section right here, any of that text to be anything we want it to be. If we decide we want to update this photo, we get sick of seeing these two and we want some new stuff going on. If we click on this icon up here in the top left corner, edit container, a new set of things will come up here on the left. The middle one, the style, will let us update this to any background image we want. So if we click into here, it'll bring up again the media library. It has all the photos we've ever had. And we decide that this photo right here is absolutely perfect. Let's play along for a moment. We select it. It'll upload in there. We can play around with exactly where it's going to be positioned if you want to. Bottom right looks just creepy in this case, but let's call it perfect for argument's sake. All the scrolling effect stuff just gives it a little extra flair, something a little extra to help grab attention for the users coming to the page. But as soon as we hit update again, that's going to be live for everybody to see. If you go in here and you make an update and you say, I don't know what in the world I just did, you can hit, depending if you're on a PC or a Mac, you can hit Control Z or Command Z a couple of times, and it will start undoing what you recently did. There's a better photo. Okay. You can also come down to the history and go back to different revisions. When you're in here, let's say you somehow manage to find a self-destruct button and you blow the entire website up and everything crashes and it's gone. I've had it happen once. Don't know what he did. He blew the site up. Oh, wow. He called us. It was a Saturday morning and we just grabbed one of the backups that we have and we threw that in place. So that's a worst case scenario. But again, as you go through and scroll, some of the different text elements are in different elements themselves. So if we take this second heading right here, experience the wedding day of your dreams at the most romantic wedding venue, that shouldn't say wedding venue Green Bay. That should say wedding venue in Green Bay.
Okay, I was going to ask you about that because I saw it a few places and I didn't know if that had to be that way for the SEO or if we could, round that out just a bit. So I'm glad.
The one that I usually don't like to monkey with at all, and I want to be exactly the keyword, is this first one here, the main heading one. The heading one is our way, one of probably our best way on the site to say to Google, hey, Mr. Google man, attention, please listen up. This is my main keyword. This is the main thing for this page that I'm telling you about.
Okay. So we'll leave
in that case, we put best wedding venue Green Bay, because again, what is a very common phrase people are going to search for? Based on the research, wedding venue Green Bay is the #1 term. Best just makes it sound a little cooler than what anybody else has.
Okay.
Once we get down to these ones here, a heading 2, there's 6 headings, heading 1, heading 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Heading 1 is the single most important, and they work down in priority, obviously, and scaling down in font size as we go. So in here, I'm fine putting that in there.
Okay.
From an SEO standpoint, that's also one of the things we have to do sometimes is make that determination of what do I think Google is going to say about this? In my opinion, when Google sees wedding venue in Green Bay, they're going to be smart enough to know they're talking about that keyword they had before. So
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was to say, would near Green Bay be okay since it's not right there, or is that getting a little too far away from that?
Near is a scary word.
Okay.
So you've seen Google searches where it'll be wedding venue near me.
Yeah.
If we target that exact phrase, wedding venue near me, Google gets really upset with us.
Oh.
So I've seen people do things where they'll have a heading that says, are you searching for the best wedding venue near me? Wanting to rank for that keyword. It's going to penalize you like crazy for doing that.
Yeah.
For that reason, that word near scares the bejesus out of me.
Okay, so good to know. It's all stuff we don't know on this end.
It's
So
one of those things where I'm in a couple of SEO nerd groups on Facebook and stuff.
good. That's why we hired you.
Yeah. You guys get to go have fun on Labor Day weekend. I hang out and chat with other SEO nerd for weekend. Uh, it's a sickness, really. I'm working on it. It's called Graham. But that's one of the things that everybody's kind of playing around with a little bit. And a couple of the guys have set up different sites where they are doing just test stuff like that.
Yeah.
What happens if we say wedding venue near Green Bay? And I'm waiting to hear back from some of them on what those successes might be.
Mm-hmm.
In my,
Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear.
yeah, in my opinion, knowing Google, knowing again how advanced that algorithm is, when we say in Green Bay, they know that in Green Bay means, I don't know how familiar you are with Green Bay, but they
Yeah, I grew up right outside of there and lived there for a while. So
so they know that that means De Pere, Howard, Alloway, Swamico, possibly down to Greenleaf, possibly down to Wrightstown. But when we set up all these other landing pages and we really start uh, geographically isolate or identifying all of them around us, I think that's where we're going to make up that near word.
perfect. That sounds
This,
good. I'll let her know that.
yep. And in this case, on this page, on the home page, the only phrase I care about, the only phrase I care about at all is wedding venue Green Bay.
Okay.
So
That's etched in stone. We'll leave that alone.
some other stuff in here. Again, if we click on this one, it's going to load the paragraph editor. This is where it looks just like Microsoft Word that you're familiar with. If we click and expand this toggle bar, we can see a whole bunch of other options that we can play with. I did set some links in here. This links to the City of Green Bay website. This goes to the Fox Cities Chamber of Commerce, I think. This goes to the City of Manitowoc website. Why do we link to those sites? Because they are very high authority sites.
Mm-hmm. Smart.
Manitowoc, their gov sites. Linking to them, it's kind of the thing, parents always say to their kids, you're the average of the 5 people you hang out with the most. We're the average of the 5 sites we link to the most. So if we're linking to good authoritative sites, they have nothing to do with our business. The City of Green Bay, the City of Manitowoc, the Fox City site have nothing to do with us, but we link to them because they're authoritative, they're powerful, they're important sites. Google knows that. Google, we're just as cool as that kind of thing.
Nice.
So then in here again, go in and change out any of the content you want to. I did put a link in here as well. Reach out to Devotions Wedding Chapel. Google likes links. They want us to link to all the other pages in our site over and over again. They want that bit of a spider web that we can let them jump into and never get out of, hopefully. In here, again, just more. Click on the right, edit on the left. This is an H5. It's not as important, but historically beautiful wedding chapel, that could be something somebody searches for. So we want to start putting some of those words together. Click the paragraph and edit that. Click the image. We can upload that to whatever we want those to be. Again, just another button. We click on the button. I did add in some stuff. Green Bay's best wedding venue, Green Bay wedding venue best. I don't think Google is going to care about. So I'm not worried about that word.
Okay.
Just a little call out section here for this is possibly we would do something like this is what I'll probably set up to put in that map just to showcase really where everything's at. I'll come up with a better heading for this because it's a heading 3. A new view is not one of your keywords. So
Okay.
what I want to exactly do with that. But I'll get that update probably today yet. And again, just all the rest of these headings, paragraphs, lots of boring text. And yes, I know that there's a lot of text on here and nobody's ever going to read all of it. We get that. I know that 100%. If we haven't convinced them by probably this point right here, that devotions is who they want to talk to, nothing else the rest of the way down is likely going to help them. It's purely there for Google. But we have to write it for the end user who's going to read it, because Google knows that
Sure.
human beings want to read. And if we write it for Google, they're again going to come back and say, you are trying to trick me. I don't like you. Get out of my ranking.
Mm-hmm.
Write it for end users, knowing that the end user, the person having the wedding, will never read all of it. It's a goofy little game we have to play. But to get,
Interesting.
we play by Google's rules.
Mm-hmm.
So again, you can update all of this content. We have the testimonial here. I added in a photo gallery just because, again, we have that historic, beautiful nature of it. We really want to capitalize on that and showcase all of that. So I just grabbed a handful of images. What you can do is if you click on this pencil icon right here, and then over here on the left, click again into here, you can go through and select whatever images. You can click on add to gallery, add whichever 8, 9, 10 of them you think are the most bonkers beautifully. These are the images that will make a bride say, that's the wedding venue I want.
Okay. And that's a little bit different. When I was looking at, it's a little bit different than the actual gallery page. Is that right?
Correct. It
Okay.
very much the same, but the intent behind it is a little bit different. The intent
Mm-hmm.
of this, again, is to make that bride or maid of honor or bride's mother say, that's the wedding venue.
Okay.
So for me and my fiance, for our wedding, I didn't have much of a choice whatsoever in the venue. That was entirely her and her mother. I was
Mm-hmm.
there for the tour, didn't get a say in the matter.
That's fairly common. Fairly. That's why we like to highlight that whole men's, the man cave type thing, because at least guys feel like they get a little bone thrown to them, because not a lot of places have that. So we like to highlight that.
And that's one of those things in the blog article that would be a great article. What is a guy supposed to do all day during his wedding? Because
Well, she's getting ready for 6 hours.
yeah, our wedding at 1:30, I think it is. I get up at 5 o'clock every morning. Sometimes I sleep until 5:30. What am I supposed to do from 6 o'clock in the morning until 1 o'clock? It's not going to take me a half hour to get into a suit. What am I
Yeah.
supposed to do all day? So
Yeah.
just things for what can a groom and the groomsmen do all day long. There's a great blog article for you to write.
Love it.
So that's the one. And I would recommend that you jump into the homepage pretty quickly and select again which 8, 10 photos you think are the most appropriate, the ones that you think are the most beautiful, and will make a bride say, yep, that's the place.
Sounds good.
That's your homework right away.
Okay. I'll try to do that today.
Um,
Mm.
Again, I just wanted a page break in here. So I just threw this section, follow the Green Bay's best wedding venue on social media. If we can push somebody to social media and see how cool you guys are on Facebook, awesome, no issues there. So just another way to draw some attention.
Yeah, I like that.
I did extend these out a little bit further.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes to, I think it's the first 100 words of an excerpt. Just gives us more word count is all it is.
Mm-hmm. Is it okay to change out best with another adjective here and there, or is it better to keep those all kind of matching?
Best is what I start with, but you can use whatever.
Okay.
Is there another one that you think works really good for devotions?
Oh, I didn't pop into my head yet. I know I've known Wendy for 30 years, and I just know like she probably would like to have them not say best at every one, like one, the switch out the adjective here and there.
We did that a little bit up here. This
Yeah.
originally experienced the wedding of your dreams at the best wedding venue, but we switched it to romantic because, again, my opinion is utterly irrelevant on this site. It's the bride's opinion that matters.
Yeah. I like that. I
But
mean, not your opinion, but I like the romantic part. Yeah, that's cool.
and so yeah, so it's really that simple to go in, and realistically any of the content is there for you to go in and make updates to and change out as needed. Yeah, so pretty straightforward and simple. clicking on the right, the preview side, editing on the left. The other thing I will mention is in the preview side on the right-hand side, it is just a preview. It's not 100% guaranteed accurate. That's exactly what it's going to look like. It's not that.
Mm-hmm.
So it can look a touch different, the exact layouts. We have some clients who have come in before and they'll say, you know, we got this lined out just the way we want, where it ends with the words passion, the personalities, milestones. We don't want anything else. Well, again, when a site scales just a little bit, that's going to change drastically. We don't get that kind of control over things.
Control. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So like we found out with the pictures too, you know, all the screen sizes are different and phones and all that. So
So there'll always be a little bit of play with it that way. If you
mm-hmm.
thing and you realize all of a sudden, you know, on mobile, this looks absolutely horrible. Something looks broken, very, very bad, basically. That's when you give Chris a call.
Okay. I think you might have told me last time and I can't remember. Is there a separate mobile editor or does it edit for both at the same time? I know some have both and some it's just kind of all inclusive.
It is actually both in a way in this.
Okay.
So this text right here is, you know, take this paragraph, for example, this heading, whatever. That's exactly word for word what it's going to be on the mobile side. So it is the same. The nice thing about Elementor is down here in the bottom on this fourth icon in is responsive mode. So if you click that, we'll have this toolbar that shows up above. Excuse me, we can change this from a widescreen monitor like I have right now to a desktop, to a tablet, to a cell phone, just to start getting a feel for exactly what that might be. When we
Right. Yeah. And that's exactly what I mean. So like if you were to edit this piece here where it's in mobile,
Yep.
would it also change it in the others or would it keep it this way in this view?
edit the content, it will change for everybody. What
Mm-hmm.
we do, however, is like this case right now, this doesn't look great. I don't love
Mm-hmm.
just looking. So if we click on this pencil icon and we come over here to style, come over here to advanced, here's a little issue we got going on. It's set to a width of 50% for desktop and tablet, which looks great there. But here on mobile, we might want this to go all the way out to 100%. Just to make it fill out better, because again, it's a fair amount of text. It's a different experience on mobile.
Mm-hmm.
Back here to tablet. Even tablet, realistically, I could see pulling this out a bit. I don't know why it jumps back to pixel all of a sudden, but I think that looks perfectly fine like that. And then we're back to mobile. We still want to be in this little tighter compact space like this.
Okay. So yeah, that was my question. So it'll keep it in 50 in the other two, but save it in 100 in the other. So you can do, okay, that's cool. I wasn't sure.
Great thing about this is there's two pieces to the visual display of it. One is the content, the wording itself, the images themselves, and the other is the display settings, the exact colors, the percentages, all that kind of stuff. Those two can be kept separate in Elementor very easily, and we can very much dial those in and out as needed. So say that heading gets updated down the road and it becomes a 2-word heading. We might not need it to go to 100%. We can scale it down. Maybe it becomes even longer and on the desktop we need to go wider, whatever it is. We can change those up. But again, the content is always the same. That shouldn't really change desktop, mobile, anything like that. But the display settings, those can get tweaked and customized as needed as we go.
Perfect.
So making sense so far?
Yep.
Any questions you have on it?
Not really. Like with the editing stuff, this is all good, and I am 99% sure I can handle it and it will be good. The one question I had was we had talked at one point about videos, adding videos, and I think I sent you a couple links to some YouTube videos. And I couldn't remember what you said about adding those in somewhere somehow. Not that we have to do it right this minute, but I didn't want to forget to ask you about that.
Question. I love putting videos on a site. Google likes putting videos on a site, and users like watching videos, so it's a win-win-win.
Mhm.
Especially if it's on a YouTube. If it's on uploaded to YouTube already, it's super easy. All you gotta do is click on this little icon up here. It looks like a Rubik's Cube, kind of. It's the
Mhm.
button. One of them right here is for video. All we have to do is click that and drag it to wherever we want. So we're just going to hypothetically say that that's the perfect spot right there for a video. We'll just say everything looks perfect with that. And if we go and this is one of our clients' account right now. We'll just grab one of their videos here real quick, just for testing purposes. So we have the full URL here. https://youtube.com/watch?v, whatever. If we grab that entire line of code and copy it, then when we're over here in this editor, in this link, we just paste it in there, and it'll be whatever video we put in. A couple things I will remind you of. If I see this happen, I will turn it off. Don't ever put autoplay on.
Okay.
Autoplay is a horrible thing. It'll cost you sales like crazy. If
Yeah.
it's on, it'll start loading the minute the web page loads. That means if somebody is looking at, wedding stuff at work really quickly, and all of a sudden the video starts playing, "Hi, welcome to Devotions," we click cancel out of here. You're not getting that sale.
Yeah.
Do that. So you can play around with all these other settings. You can play around with the aspect ratio to get it to look just the way you want it to. Anything like that is fair game for you to go in and play around with. YouTube, again, just works so easy and convenient. And I'll look at those other ones you sent me to find a good spot to plug those in there. Are those ones that
Okay.
you filmed for Devotion specifically?
No, those were the ones from the other photographers and videographers that they made for the couple, those kind of compilation wedding day videos. But both of them have some really good, scenes of the inside, and it has Wendy's voiceover and stuff like that. So but again, it's per couple. So I didn't know if it maybe was a separate page or something. So it isn't, if at some point she is going to hire someone and do our own, but I didn't know for now, at least if we had a couple links to some videos where they could get a little feel for it, if that would be good or not.
Yep, would be great, and I'll find a way to work then.
Okay.
So, and then theoretically, the nice thing, or the other thing too, that's great about these is, let's say that even though we decided right now this is the perfect video to put right there, we decide later on we don't want a video anymore. Wendy doesn't want it. We got to take it off. All we got to do is right click anywhere on, actually for videos, we got to right click on the pencil, the edit icon, and then hit delete, and then it's gone.
Cool.
We hit update again, all the changes are saved, ready for the world to see. So
Sounds good.
any other questions on Elementor?
I don't think so. Not right now.
Perfect. So yeah, so that's really what it is. I will email you the link to get to the login page just so you have a copy of it. And I'll email you a link as well to our guides page, our tutorials page on our website. Just has a lot of other videos and some PDF content, just walking through how to do everything really we've talked about here. So I have a couple different resources to work with then.
Sounds good.
Any other questions?
I don't think so. I think that's it. The only one she wanted me to follow up on was those extra pages